So guys, this will be an interesting video. I've completely changed my stance on which headphones to buy for music production. This video is not sponsored. It's literally something that I've discovered in the last week or so. So I was downstairs and we were getting ready for dinner, and my fiance Day DeVille, you guys know her as Day DeVille. She was whipping something up, chefing something up, and then I was just like, let me hop on her FL Studio real quick just to mess around on her headphones. I forget what we installed Omnisphere 3. That's what it was. And I just wanted to make a beat real quick to try out some automation techniques. And I put on our headphones and the sounds were different. When I was going through presets, it's like I could feel the preset. I could like feel the resonance of the sound. And I wasn't worried about the microscopic details of a sound. I was just going based off of complete feel. Like, can I feel the bass? Like, it was like resonating through the headphones. And for the first time in a long time, I was like, wait, this might change my perspective on headphones, because the other day, if you guys were watching my channel, let me show you guys a quick little thing. I was recording, I made this beat with these headphones. Now, let me quickly, before I even get into the FL project, these are called Audeze. Let me see. These are called Audeze MM500s. I highly recommend these. These are basically like Mercedes-Benz for your head. These are basically, I don't even turn on my speakers anymore. Like, I don't remember the last time I turned them on. And I'm saying this to say these are basically speakers on your head. Now, I'm sure there's some room correction technology out there that claims it could make these even better. But what I love about these is that I could truly feel the sound stage. Like, left feels on the left and right feels on the right, and like everything in between, you could like visualize everything in between. Whereas my other headphones, I have some these are some Audio Technicas I use to record. These are great for recording. These are closed back. And I have some Sennheiser HD 598s and 600s that I also used to use back in the day. Now, the thing about this setup is when I was playing this beat, for example, I had the sample filtered. So here's what I used to have the sample of.
The freshest in all the four boroughs. Got to connect your four boroughs. Throwing a rock in four boroughs. Then we took over the whole.
Now, over these MM500s, that mix sounded good because everything was controlled, everything was in its place, and it was mixed properly. It was mixed properly. But when I went to record, I was like, man, something's missing out this vibe. I undid the filter and the whole beat came back alive.
The freshest in all the four boroughs. Got to connect your four boroughs.
And it gave me that New York sample vibe. And I was like, man, why did I even add all this stuff to the sample? It could have just been the, hallucination I had while making the beat. But I think what I've gained perspective on is that these headphones are built for mixing. Okay, they're open back headphones so that the sound can go out and, I don't know, not have, collisions inside the actual chamber of the headphone. So without getting into the geekiness, these are great for mixing. Yes, I can hear all the detail on the kick. Yes, I can hear all the textures of a snare that you might not be able to hear at home. But when it comes to making the beat, the key is to feel the beat. Okay, not only the dynamic, but the actual sound itself. You got to feel it. And these, you can feel it when you truly push a sound to like really get to where it's about to go. But you have to push a sound to really get to where it's going, because these are built for mixing. They're built to be bland. They're built to be, just seeing everything. It's almost like grayscale for headphones, in that it takes away all the excitement so you can see stuff for what it is. I know that's an exaggeration. But these other headphones, they might be pink headphones, and other headphones might be red headphones. But when you're creating, you get more of a vibe because you start to resonate with more reds and more pinks, and you just get a vibe. And now I'm starting to question my take on headphones. I used to say I couldn't recommend any headphones except for the Audezes, or the Audeze MM500s. These are about $1,600. I know pretty much all of America can't afford these. They gave these to me, by the way, to be transparent with you guys. And I would have never known the quality of headphone you can get. I would have never known, because I would have never thought to upgrade my headphones. I always thought, okay, I'll get the Sennheiser 598s, then I'll upgrade to the 600, then I'll go 660. And I didn't realize I'm just listening to like paper thin headphones. But what you do get out of those headphones that you don't get out of these is the vibe. Okay. So, and I don't mean Sennheiser specifically, I mean any other headphone version. So I think when you guys are, purchasing headphones, don't just go for which one is the flattest. That's for mixing. And I only understood this in the last week because it was such a stark difference. Like when I put my fiance's headphones on, it's like the bass was like alive. When I put these on, it's just like the bass feels like it's just there. But it's because these are like trying to be as flat as possible so that we can make proper mixing decisions. But if you can't feel your beat to begin with, how can other people feel it? Okay, so that's where I think all these different speaker companies and all these different headphone companies, as a beat maker and a music producer, I don't think you need to have the best monitoring system. I think that's for people who mix, and you want to separate those two because, like I said, if I'm creating from the perspective of this headphone, I did this initially in the production stage. I added this filter
The freshest in all the
because it contained the sample and it.
The freshest in all the 4 boroughs. That's that. Got to connect your 4 boroughs. Throwing a rock in 4 boroughs. Then we took over the.
Then when I put the headphones on, I'm like, wait, something. And I just happened to unclick this filter because I was like, the beat felt so empty.
The freshest in all the 4 boroughs. That's that. Got to connect your 4 boroughs. Throwing a rock in 4 boroughs.
Now, to some, that may be an obvious difference, but again, when you're producing, you're in a certain mindset. Set. And when you're listening through mixing headphones, but you're producing through a producer mindset, the two don't really overlap all the time. So I just want to give you guys encouragement to know that you don't need $2,000 headphones to get a good beat. Let me open up a new session. This session's clicking. So now the question becomes, okay, game, you don't recommend, not necessarily recommend. I do recommend these headphones. These are like game changing. They sound, it will make all your other headphones sound like a piece of paper. That's for real. That's legit. I stand on that. These I keep saying it backwards. These Audeze MM500s, they also make MM100s that are more affordable, more competitive in price. So I used to be only able to recommend this company. And what I'm now realizing is, as a beat maker, I'm not sure having a pristine, super accurate monitoring as you're making beats, I don't think that's always a benefit because it takes away some of that vibe. And it's hard to understand until you really get into the workflow of being a producer. Like, you guys know that some sounds pop out, other sounds don't. Like if I play these keys, it's very rich. You can hear all the details. Now, if I played, a stock FL Studio plugin, you'd be like, you might not resonate with that key, for example. Let me turn this sound off. So now I'm going to play the same thing with FL keys. It just feels very plasticky, but it has its place. Usually we use it for bass. That's FL keys, by the way. But up here, when you go up this octave, sounds a little thin. But in that bass octave, you get a nice grit out of it. So it's all about like, where does the sound resonate for you as a listener? And again, that tone that you guys heard, that boom, boom, that might resonate over these headphones, these these Audio-Technica. It may resonate much more because they may have boosted lows or exaggerated high end. So now I'm feeling like the beat is way more open than what it is, but it encourages me to create in a certain perspective. So it's not that I'm trying to make the perfect mixes I'm creating. I'm trying to get the energy into the beat. And when you have sounds that excite you and you have, things that you could resonate with, that's what gives you the ultimate result, regardless of the mix. The mix to me is really just there to be more objective in which tones need to be turned down and which ones need to stand out. But I definitely changed my perspective about headphones. I was actually shocked because it was such a big difference in like the energy. Like as I was producing on my fiance's computer, I wish I could give you guys an internal feeling and like transfer it to you. It was almost like, wow, like this feels different. And plus she has a PC. I'm on a Mac. So I wonder if that made a difference too. But like, it was like, I could feel the Reese bass as soon as I opened it. I could feel the energy of the lead that I was making. Whereas on here, it's like, I got to really be in that pocket to really feel that Reese bass. Now, maybe it's a PC Mac thing. It could be. But ultimately, the reality is those headphones that I use were Audio-Technica headphones. So that's the reality. I wasn't using these headphones, but I still felt the sound. So I'm starting to reshape my perspective on headphones as a music producer, not as a mixer, as a music producer. But if you guys want the gold standard, even Ken Lewis, who's mixed Taylor Swift, has 36 something billion streams. I interviewed him on the live stream because he taught me the very beginning of mixing, and he's just a legend. And he has a new channel called Mixing. Wait, hold on, let me find his channel. Okay, the company is officially called Mixing Night Audio, so go check him out. Mixing Night Audio. He used to live stream and give a bunch of tips and pro level stuff. And he's just has so much experience. It's crazy. He's worked with Kanye. He's just Taylor Swift. He's just out of here as far as his experience. And he was recommended. I think he had recommended or said that he even uses Audeze. I forget which series he used, but he uses Audeze as well. And like I said, it's hard to explain. But when you go from $4,000 speakers, that are very heavy, you have neighbors. Sometimes you don't want to be loud at night. Depending on who you guys live with. Sometimes it's more prudent to go with headphones because you don't disturb the neighbors, you don't wake anybody up, and you can hear the whole soundstage with Audeze. Okay. But that's for mixing. Okay. Like I said, when it comes to producing, that's why I like those iLoud Micro Monitor Pros. It gives me a big sound out of a small little speaker, and they're portable. They're fun. I'm looking at it right now. I wish I could grab it, but it's plugged up right now. I have 2 of them plugged up. And the iLoud Micro Monitor Pros, those were fun too as speakers. They might not have the most bass in it and the most big surround sound, but it was fun making music on them. It was fun, the dynamic, the features it has on there. So I think that's what we need to focus on more is the fun of the process more than the technical rightness of the process. All right. I know that sounds like it's unbelievable, but I want you guys to be confident with what you have. These are so busted down because I just believe in these. But if you guys need a first pair of headphones, don't rush out and just start buying stuff. Just get you some Apple earphones. They're $15 on Amazon. Don't overspend yet. Okay. But I want you guys to have confidence to know that your pair of headphones is probably good. If you feel the music. Okay. That's what's most important. All right, y'all. I'm not going to keep going, but I want to thank you guys because that's a real story. That's a real mindset change that I had recently. Sorry. Peace, y'all.